Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is March 27th, and right now we are looking at the visible/infrared satellite imagery. Check out the marine layer into Southern California. You can see the snow-capped mountains there, and you see some bands of precipitation here moving into the state. And look at this low pressure center right off the Oregon coastline there. Brought a bunch of lightning across the Pacific Northwest yesterday. We'll dive into all those details. We'll take a look at the extended forecast. Looks like we may remain active as we go on in through the extended forecast. We'll take a look at that as we go through the video here this morning. Right now, you see the Doppler radar combinations here, bringing some precipitation down towards the Bay Area. Right now, it's just north of the Bay Area. Could get a lightning strike or two out of this, but it's not a widespread lightning event by any stretch of the imagination. And again, you can kind of see that marine there really socked in there across Southern California as we speak. Nice sunny skies across some of the San Joaquin Valley and the desert area. Some high clouds, mid-level clouds moving around. And then the further north you go, the better chance you start to run into some of those showers. Looking at lightning strike density there yesterday, you can see the Pacific Northwest, thousands of strikes up there, but nothing for California, a little bit across Nevada, Utah, and some portions of Arizona. Now, I've got a new Patreon weather page here, and when things get active, I will definitely be posting here instead of on X and Blue Sky. Patreon allows me to do a little bit more of a professional setting here, and I can link YouTube stuff to that as well. So if you want to support the channel, go ahead and check it out. I will leave that in the link down below. Now, taking a look at the European artificial intelligence, let's look at the hot off the run presses here. First things first, there goes this system now, and you see it does bring a little bit of precipitation as we go through tomorrow across some of the higher terrain. We have the foothills of the San Joaquin Valley and down through Southern California. Not a lot of it, but at least it's not super hot and sunny and dry. And then we've got another stronger frontal system that'll be coming in at some point on Saturday night and on in through Sunday morning. And how far south will that precipitation get? Right now is still a big question. And you can see the trough still hanging out here and kind of an inside slider after that frontal system drops down across the region. That has a potential to bring additional rounds of precipitation with it as well. And then maybe some additional systems here as we go through the extended forecast, but we're looking a little far out in the forecast there. Troughing remains out over the Pacific Ocean with the potential for additional systems on in through the extended forecast as well. So we could have some active weather coming up here over the next week to 2 weeks. We'll be checking that out on a daily basis. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is going on now, though. Strong winds peak on Thursday, so 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. today. You can see high wind warning till 11 p.m. on Thursday. Nordic coast, you can see south winds 25-35, gust up to 60. Wind advisory for some other places as well, but look at Crescent City. Look at that forecast wind gust there at 59. Already getting some pretty good gust there on some of the coastal areas. Power outage is possible. And also with that storm system, we're getting some big waves. Look at this, breaking waves, 25 to 30 feet, 15 to 20 for northern Monterey Bay. And you can see in the purple there is where that high surf advisory exists. This goes all the way on in through Friday morning. Taking a look here, high wind warning here. Look at Independence 50, 60, but some areas, some of the ridge tops there, you're gusting up over 80 miles per hour. And this is from 11 a.m. this morning to 11 p.m. on in through Thursday. So yeah, this is just for the today on Thursday. I confused myself a little bit. But you see some of these peak winds, and again, out of the west and southwest. Now, daily 2-meter maximum temperature here. We are done with the heat for a while at least. This is today. I mean, the desert areas are still relatively warm, but we're not looking at 80s or anything like that for the San Joaquin Valley or for Southern California here over the short-term forecast and on in through the extended really even as well. If we go off into the early portion of April, you can see we are keeping temperatures somewhat suppressed with some troughing and some active weather as we go through the first week of April. Now, this is what the Doppler radar may look like here over the next 60 hours. You can see some of the bands of precipitation that we saw. Here we are right about now. There's 11 and there's noon right here. Again, you can't rule out a thunderstorm there. Again, it looks like the Shasta County convergence zone kicks off a bit here as we go through the day today. Do not be surprised to hear some rumbles of thunder with that activity just north of Redding and Red Bluff there. Terrain feature there for Northern California. And you see as we go through this evening tonight, some showers showing up for the Southern California higher terrain. Not showing much for San Diego or Los Angeles, the metro areas, but you can see the showery kind of cooler pattern here as we go on in through the day Saturday as well. And then we watch this next cloud shield and precipitation amount start to approach as we go through Saturday night and the stronger frontal system starts to arrive. Now looking at the European, this is hot off the press at the 12Z run. There's that low pressure center we saw, the precipitation amount. It does bring a bit down towards Southern California, again, the higher terrain, but not a lot of it initially. Then the stronger storms arrive, and this one comes in on Saturday night and into Sunday. And it's backed off a little bit here on the frontal system, how far this south this gets across Southern California. But as you can see, it could bring multiple rounds of precipitation in the form of snow for the higher terrain. And we will watch this to see just how much precipitation this is going to get. This forecast is going to be kind of a dynamic and moving forecast here over the next few days. And you can see additional systems potentially there, maybe another inside slider and some troughing here kind of hanging out across the west coast and then out across the Pacific Ocean. Looks like maybe some ridging there as well. But then, yeah, we'll see what happens after that. We're diving a little bit too far off into the future to be looking at details. This is the GFS. Now, same setup here, of course, in the early stages of the model run there, and then the stronger frontal system arrives. The GFS kind of weakens that one, but then gets going a little bit better with this next storm system here as we go off in through the mid portion of next week. This would be a very robust storm. I mean, look at this 968 millibar beast out over the coast, atmospheric river, some heavy mountain snows, and some flooding potential with that. And again, some question on how far south that frontal system would get. But you saw that the European and the GFS do not agree on the exact position and the strength of that frontal system as it gets into Southern California. So you're going to want to check back daily to kind of keep abreast on the situation here as we go on in towards next week. Now, looking at the European artificial intelligence on the left versus the GFS on the right. So pretty good amounts of rainfall coming for some portions of the state. But again, there is a lot of uncertainty on just how much of the heavier rainfall is going to make its way to the south of Point Conception across Southern California. As you can see, the European artificial intelligence does show some precipitation, but not the big heavy amounts you see Bay Area north across Northwest California. It's kind of been a theme here at times so far this year that Northern California has been picking up bigger amounts versus Southern California. But again, we'll be breaking those systems down day by day. In the meantime, again, I wanted to point out Sacramento here because we have some winter weather advisories. Check it out, 6 to 11 above 5,500 feet. This is from 11 a.m. this morning. So this is starting right about now. This goes through about 5 p.m. on Friday, tomorrow, March 28th. Look at that, 1 to 2 feet near Lassen Park, localized amounts. And you can just prepare for some wintry driving conditions across some of the higher terrain. And again, snow levels 5,500 feet. Gusty winds expected. Does include Redding and Chico. It's just north of Sacramento here, but you might get some gusty winds as well out in front of that frontal system coming in now. And again, gust to 45 expected. And here we go. One more look at the snow forecast. Donner Peak, 6 to 8 inches. So that can make going back and forth on I-80 a little bit of an issue here. Some moderate impacts here. You got to watch out for those travel delays and slick roads, chain controls, and stuff like that out there. So keep that in the back of your mind if you're traveling. And here's the rainfall amounts all the way on in through Saturday morning. Lesser amounts for the valley areas, bigger amounts across some of the coastal ranges here in Northwest California, and of course some of the Sierra Nevada. The timing of this event is Saturday, this evening through Saturday AM, coming in March 26th through 29th. And thunderstorm potential, not really showing for California, but again, could get a few lightning strikes, especially that Shasta County convergence zone that showed up on the North American model this morning. So 6 to 10 day temperature outlook below normal for a lot of the West Coast continues. It's still got this above normal here. So cross your fingers that these systems can bring precipitation much needed down here across Southern California. 8 to 14 days, something similar. You got that below normal West Coast, and a lot of the lower 48 all the way through April 9th is showing up. The 3rd through 9th, I should say. It's above average there as well. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, we'll continue to break things down. We'll watch the storm systems coming up towards the mid portion of our forecast period here. Let's hope we can get a frontal system without too much flooding down through Southern California. But anyway, we'll try to break down those model discrepancies again tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day. Check out the Patreon page if you would, which should be down in the link below, and I will talk to you guys later.